coolest things about this last weekend was Rob Hall, one of our founding pastors, was able to preach, and just a fantastic way to celebrate the 10 years of our church, our 10-year anniversary. And one of the things we want to do today is communicate the life change that has happened in our church over the last 10 years. Both of you guys know, Chris, you've been here with us for 8 years and Neil for 6, that several people have experienced life change at South Hills Church. We like to say making Jesus famous is one of our slogans. But the coolest thing is when that slogan comes to life in people's lives.
Well, Chase, I've been involved in a number of ministries in my 8 years here. But one of the ministries that I'm very impressed with is our ministry with community service. We have an impact on the lives of men and women who serve here at our church. They've gotten to know some of the staff members and some of the pastors. In fact, one of the joys is that a number of them have started to attend our church. But let me tell you about one man that I've met just recently. And, well, let him tell you the story.
Okay, my name's Johnny. I am 42 years old from Southern California. I grew up in a town called Monrovia, and my mother was a school teacher and my dad was a brewer. I had a great childhood, grew up in a beautiful home, loved sports, played baseball throughout my whole childhood, went to college actually on a baseball scholarship. In college I picked up some bad habits, started drinking a little too much. Well, subsequently after college I got married and had the kids. Unfortunately, I still had an alcohol problem. It contributed to my divorce. I was married for 12 years. Being an alcoholic and really having some anger issues and depression, unfortunately it's cost me some freedom. I've been in and out of jail for the last 8 years. The last time just being 6 months ago. And for the first few times I went to jail, I thought I could fix myself. I thought I could get out and make the changes. Finally, I opened up the Bible this time in jail. I started reading, and I felt God talking to me. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was going to be okay. I accepted Jesus into my life. So upon my release from jail and given my community service hours, I saw South Hills Church. I walked in the church and met Matt, Kalani, and they put me to work, as well as introduced me to a great Bible study I started attending. I also was part of a men's advance. I went to Utah in October and had a great weekend. South Hills has been amazing, seriously amazing for me. It's helped me feel like I'm not alone in the struggles and battles that I face.
And I understand that one of the challenges going on in your life right now is that you're looking for a job. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the hardest thing going on right now. I have, as I mentioned before, been in jail and made some mistakes that don't go away. And looking for a job has been very difficult these last 5 months. And I am blessed, and a job will come my way. In the meantime, my fiance is taking care of business. She's a school teacher, and I'm still blessed and feel great to be alive every day.
That's why we're so happy to have you around. We sense that something is happening in your life. Just share with us what God is doing in your life now.
With what Jesus has taught me, I'm gaining the tools and the peace to know that with Him by my side, it will be okay. I will make it through this day, and I will wake up tomorrow and be blessed all over again.
That's so cool that even out of community service, ministry is happening.
Yes.
Well, and I got a story that I feel like it'd be a shame if I didn't share with you guys. See, I don't think a lot of people know that in the beginning when South Hills started, we actually started our student ministries program before we started like a Sunday worship program. And we did that because we knew if we could reach students, we could get through these gated communities and give us a chance to share the gospel with parents. And we got a story that I want to tell you guys about Amy Dannon that fits that perfectly. Amy Dannon first discovered South Hills Church after her son Dustin began playing the drums for the Explode Worship Band.
Well, I did not know that he was coming to Explode for the love of Jesus. I got it for the love of drumming because Dustin was the drummer. He was the music person.
And I think that's how it started.
And I totally believe that's where he was being led in that direction because of his love for his music and drums. But he ended up here this way.
Yeah.
Because I had learned in freshman or sophomore year, Dustin didn't want to be confirmed in the Catholic Church, which for me and my family and my background was very disheartening. I had a very strong religious Catholic family background. My family, my parents were divorced at a very young age.
Divorce was very fresh in Amy's life when her son started attending South Hills.
He had friends that were helping him go through some struggles too, since his parents were getting a divorce. It was kind of like there's this youth group, Mom, and I'm going. With my friends are going, and they need a drummer, Mom. They asked me to play drums, Mom, so that's where I'm going.
It wasn't long before Amy's son Dustin invited her to church one Sunday to watch him play worship.
I guess Explode, the Explode worship group was basically leading that weekend at that Sunday at church services. So of course, proud mom has to go see their son play, right? And he said, Mom, you can come see us play. I'm playing at both services. Well, I did not know I was going to a service per se. And what it was really, I don't know what I was really ready for. I enjoyed worship, of course, because my son's up there. But then there was a message, and the whole atmosphere was very warm and very inviting, and didn't make me feel out of place or anything. I felt like I was right at home. And the next week, Dustin invited me to come to church with him. So, hey, go to church with my son again? I'm in, count me in. I came to support, but then Dustin wasn't drumming every Sunday. Dustin was coming to church with friends every Sunday. And as a parent, you want to be involved in your child's life. I got to meet a bunch of kids that were older and younger than Dustin, and that I ended up seeing every week. And when Dustin went off to college, I still saw a lot of those kids, and now I work with some of them at Ignite and met their families. It's been nice. This was a new home for me. This was a whole church family for me. This was exciting for me.
How would you say that has impacted your heart and the way you do life now?
I remember Dustin getting up on stage after, I think it was like the second time. And I think you or someone else asked him the question about what he learned in it. And he said, I'm not afraid to die, and I have no fear. And I think I can honestly say I've learned that too. I'm not fearful of tomorrow. I'm not fearful with whatever God's going to send my way, because I'm right with God. Tears of joy? Absolutely. There are no more tears of sorrow, there are tears of joy. And it's a good feeling. It's a very peaceful feeling. I've got the right relationship. And my family, I've raised my family to have the right relationship. And that's it. That's it.
And Neil and Chase, one of the great things about this is that now Amy is one of the leaders in our student ministry.
Well, and she's one of the key leaders in Ignite, our middle school ministry.
Yeah, and I get the blessing of working with these leaders. And there's another story that comes from an Ignite leader, Neri. And Neri used to show up every Tuesday night with this incredible burden from her marriage, almost in tears at times. But she was always there on Tuesdays to serve, because she had a heart to serve. And this upcoming story is about how God redeemed their marriage and restored Glenn, her husband, and how now he's a follower and a disciple of Jesus Christ.
Great.
I was actually 12 years old and I was with my sister walking down the street and I was coming back from 7-Eleven and I heard a yell saying, "Hey baby," and then I just kept going. So I walked up the street and I was still with my sister and her friend and my husband comes running up with his brother and asking, who are you guys? And
So we grew up in the same neighborhood.
in the same neighborhood, same street basically, and it started from there.
We pretty much dated until we got married.
He had his thing and I had mine, and he'd run off with his friends, and that was a big thing because he was young. And then I guess our biggest thing was when we had Christian. We had a Christian before we actually got married. I was 18 at the time, still in high school. So when I had him, then we decided, let's get married.
But marriage wasn't the solution to their problems. Glenn continued to party, while Neri's focus was on her faith.
Every opportunity that I could have to come to South Hills Bible Studies for Women, I was there.
I would probably be the in-between between her and church because I would drag her down so hard she wouldn't have the strength or she couldn't stop crying enough to make it to something. When I get to drinking, and that's what I did for a long time, I would lose everything. Nothing mattered. Come in the middle of the night, having a good time, but the second I stepped foot into that house, I wanted to be loud, I wanted to yell.
Her husband was frustrated and in complete rebellion, and Neri had one option, so she fell to her knees in prayer.
That was the only resort that I could go to at that time, was just to get on my knees and pray for him each and every day.
How long do you think that you did that for?
I would say a solid year, just getting on my knees and praying for him.
We had it out one really good time. She went off to go to sleep, and I was sitting there, and God spoke to me. And He said, "That's your wife. You go love her, and you grab her, and you hold on to her, and you don't ever let her go." And I've never been spoken to before. So that's what I did. When she was ready, she gave me a hug back and said that she loved me very much, and she would love to work things out. And there's a lot of changes I would have to make. I didn't see any change possible. I didn't see letting go of friends for 30 years. I didn't see my kids wanting to love me because they had fallen away. They did not want to talk to their dad anymore. From there, we got some counseling, and the first session was real good. I opened up like a book and even heard the things I was saying, like, "Hey, you're a dummy." I was stubborn, proud in my ways.
And your heart starts to change.
My heart, it's a miracle. I have no urges for drinking. Like, it's just gone. Never told any of my friends, don't come over or give me some time, nothing like that. They just don't come to my door anymore. Kids opened up 100%. I sat them down and I had to talk with each and every one of them separately and then all together. I told them how life's going to be and how we're going to go and take this family.
The best part about this whole thing was renewing our vows, but not just renewing our vows. It was more renewing our vows before God and truly meaning it this time.
I am thankful for every prayer and every person that has stuck by my wife. I really appreciate it. The power of God works.
The great thing of coming up on our 10th anniversary is we have just come out of one of the great years of our church. We've moved into a brand new building where we can worship and where we can have our student ministries and other activities. And now we have a brand new pastor, Kevin Ware. So we're really excited about going on into the future.
Right, a ton of things to look forward to. And part of me wishes that we could tell all the stories of the people in our church.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful for Kyle and the crew filming this stuff, and I'm excited for what God's going to do in the next 10 years here at our church. Why don't we go show our church these stories, guys?
Sure.